Hi, my name is Amy King. I'm here with Kim Jones and Jennifer Murphy, and we're going to present our diversity case study analysis. The first step is to identify the problem, but first, some background information. Miss Thurston is a sixth grade science teacher. She had planned a field trip to Meadow Creek Park. The students will be studying the wildlife there. In the days before the field trip, Miss Thurston gets a new student named Justin. Justin is very excited about the field trip. The problem is that Justin has cerebral palsy and walks with crutches. Miss Thurston calls the nature reserve, and the educational director, Miss Parsons, assures her that they have accommodations for students with disabilities. However, when they arrive at the reserve, Miss Thurston realizes that the accommodations consist of Justin sitting in a room watching videos. In fact, students with disabilities are not even allowed in the park at all. Let's take a look at the different perspectives. The first perspective is Meadow Creek Park. They are likely very concerned about liability. They're afraid that Justin will get hurt. The second perspective is Miss Thurston. She's concerned about Justin being able to participate in an equitable way without sacrificing the quality of the learning experience for the rest of the students. The third perspective is Justin's mom. She wants her son to be able to participate in the learning along with everyone else. She's probably witnessed Justin being left out and not being able to do everything that his peers can do. That hurts some heart. Finally, the fourth perspective is Justin himself. Justin doesn't want to feel isolated and alone. He doesn't want to sit in a room by himself. He's not only disabled, but he's also at a new school. He needs to be outside with his friends. Step 3 is consider the possible challenges and opportunities. The biggest challenge is for Ms. Thurston and Ms. Parsons to work together to find an equitable solution so that Justin can participate and the other students still have a good experience, a quality experience. Ms. Thurston also has an opportunity to advocate for her students to find a better alternative, not only for the current field trip, but for field trips in the future for students with disabilities.
Step 4, we would like to stop and imagine equitable outcomes. In order to provide equitable outcomes for all students, there must be a way for Justin to participate without it being dangerous. Justin should be allowed outdoors in order to provide any kind of equitable experience. The park could create areas with ramps that include raised beds so that students that use crutches or in wheelchairs can participate in the accessible trails. The raised beds should have sections that reflect what would be observed on the actual trails. The park could also offer a 3D type of experience to immerse students and surround them so they feel like they are actually there. Step 5, we need to stop and brainstorm immediate term responses. It is possible that Justin and Ms. Thurston could stay on the wide paths in and around the gardens, such as partner walking. As long as he is accompanied by a responsible adult, then maybe the rules would not prohibit him from being there. We feel that the park should definitely take some steps to make accommodations for people with disabilities. Ms. Thurston should be persistent in trying to work with Ms. Parsons to find an equitable solution. She has to be an advocate for her student. Step 6, brainstorm long-term policy and practice adjustments. So in the future, Ms. Thurston should really do more research before a field trip. If she had inquired about the specific accommodations that were available, she would have anticipated a problem, and then she would have had time to develop a plan of action before they arrived at the field trip. She could have possibly taken a wheelchair, or she could have enlisted the help of Justin's mother in finding a solution. At the very least, Justin's mother should have been made aware of the safety concerns and rules. Justin's mother might have been willing to attend the field trip to ensure his safety. And if Justin's mother was not able to attend the field trip, Ms. Thurston should have secured enough parent chaperones that could attend to the rest of the class while she could assist Justin.
Step 7 is to craft a plan of action, something that Ms. Thurston and Justin and the class can do at this moment in time. One of the things that we talked about was that as they walk together up top and not with the class, that the class could bring objects that they find on the trail back up to Justin and Ms. Thurston. They could use technology they have. If they have good signal, they could FaceTime him as they go through. And Ms. Thurston needs to be respectful with the park and explain to the students that sometimes things happen to change the plans and to be flexible, and even allow the students to help her come up with a plan of the best way to include Justin, and even ask Justin, how is the best way that you would feel comfortable to be included in what was going on with the day's activities? We also talked that they could have alternative trails, maybe for students with disabilities. And the students always are the eyes and ears for each other. At the end of our case study, we had 4 questions. In the first question, we don't feel that the accommodation was equitable. Amy did some research and found that there are grants and funding that the park could use to expand any accommodations for students or for in general public who have disabilities. The second question is, it's her responsibility to teach the standards, and even though she feels this way would help her meet the standards, she might need to adjust. She might need to look for different opportunities, that maybe the park has a program that comes into the classroom that they could take advantage of. How she responds to the park is a powerful teaching moment. And it's a way for her to model to students how to handle situations that are not fair to people that they are in contact with. Being respectful to Ms. Parsons and to the park, and asking for ways to change the situation, and then providing her opportunities to change the situation and not just leave it at, you need to fix it. Our final question is that now they're at the park, how can they fix this? How can they work and make the situation really good for Justin and for everybody involved? Asking the students and getting Justin involved in problem solving is a life skill that they will be able to take and use in all kinds of situations. Having the students walk and bring things, using what's available to them, is the best way to handle the situation rather than abandon it altogether. We think that there's a lot that the park could do. There's a lot Ms. Thurston can change in how she plans, and all of this would make a better situation for Justin and for future field trips with handicapped or disabled peers. Thank you.